Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Toya T, and this is my recap and review of Being Mary Jane Season 4, Episode 3, Getting Real. I don't know what it is about this show, but I am not loving it. I'm happy that there's only 10 episodes, and I'm going to power my way through this. I mean, I definitely have the patience and the perseverance because I was in school for a long time, but even this makes me want to quit. There is something about Mary Jane that I just can't, it's just mind-boggling. But let's just get into this. First of all, I'm just going to do it in chunks. So Mary Jane's life seems to still be in flux, still seems to be, it seems to be unraveling a bit. And so after they bring in Justin, that's the guy that Rhonda brought in to ruffle Mary Jane's feathers after she, exposed Rhonda's foundation for embezzling and all this other stuff. So she brought in Justin, the guy, the one that got Mary Jane fired at her first job, I think at CNN. And so we get to see her adjusting to this, and she's just like, man, this is a shit show. She's walking around the office talking to Cara and says, I finally see what you were saying about Rhonda. She's a bitch. And Justin being here is just making it worse because he's just really bonding with the executive producer, Garrett. And they show him, doing fun housing and stuff with the other male workers at the network, but I still haven't seen why she particularly hates him. And so I think we can establish that Mary Jane is an unreliable narrator of this story. She's supposed to be the protagonist. We're supposed to see these things through her eyes. Or at least most of it through her eyes, and I just can't trust her. I don't think anything that they've shown us so far about Justin has shown that he deserves the ire of Mary Jane, or even of us as the viewers, or any of her family members. And so, I don't know. But anyway, some of the things I just don't understand. So relationship wise, let's talk about her relationship. So now, after that whole emotional scab opening and confessing that she's lonely to lead, now they're dating. So they're showing them as they're this dating couple, and Mary Jane are already off the bat. I think they've been dating maybe a week. Let's give it 2 weeks. I don't think, let's say 2 weeks. I don't think at the most a month has gone by. She's dating this man, and obviously she's still living in this hotel suite, and she's looking for a new place. So she's getting her brother PJ, who now moved from LA over to New York and is now like a high-end real estate agent, selling those multi-million-dollar condos and lofts in New York City. So she's asking him to help her out. And so she's asking Lee to come with her and talking about like what she's looking for, and how her brother showed her a $15 million condo and that she really wants it, but it's like way outside her budget. So she's telling him, all the things she's looking for. And he's saying, like, my sublet's almost up. It's so expensive here in New York City. But it seems like she's moving the conversation into like, well, your sublet is up and I have to leave this hotel and I got to buy something. Why don't we move in together? Which makes no sense. And it's so funny because all I can think about is that on paper, Mary Jane is educated. She has a college degree or a master's in journalism or communications. She comes from a well-to-do family, an upper middle-class black family. She has two parents that are well respected. She's fully employed. She's gorgeous, able-bodied. All of these things. She has all these things going for her, but she is like pretty much the equivalent of that, quote unquote stereotypical ghetto chick or, thought or whoever who'll meet a guy and tattoo his name somewhere on her like a week within their relationship. I'm looking at you, Black China. I love you, girl, in some aspects because you really are the queen of petty, although I think that petty's starting to kick you in the ass with the Kardashians. But we will not forget that you got Future's name tattooed on your wrist, not right here. not even wrist, on your hand, like an idiot. And it was just for like a music video, and he probably just gave you some D for like 2 seconds. And I think that's exactly how Mary Jane is. Lee gave her some good D, and now she wants his ass to move in with her, and it just makes no sense. Who does that? You're supposed to be smart. We're supposed to be like, I don't know, using you as an example of what women should be trying to aspire to, and you're just so disappointing. I just don't get it. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm asking, how old is Mary Jane? Like, have they established this for us? Because we know that Gabrielle Union is 44, but how old is Mary Jane? And we find out a little bit later in the show that she's 39 and she's 2 months away from turning 40, and that's why she's acting all crazy, because she's having some kind of not even a quarter life crisis, but a midlife. I guess at that 40 is midlife, so she's having a midlife crisis. You know, she's not married, she doesn't have kids, she doesn't have the job that she thought she would have by 40, and so she's acting out. Crazy thing about that, when the information came out, because the whole episode I'm like, this is so freaking boring, I freaking hate her. And how old is she? Because she's definitely older than me in life and on this show, and she's acting like a 21-year-old. But she tells Lee that her birthday's in 2 months, so he didn't know when your birthday was. You're trying to get him to move in with you, because she brings him to go look at some different lofts in Manhattan that she wants to buy, and is talking about, oh, look at it, it's a 2-bedroom, you know, it has all this space, it has central air, and Lee has something about central air, and rather has a radiator or something. And he, at least he is sane and rational. He told her, no, if you want to buy this place, buy it for yourself. Don't put me in your plans. I can't put you in my plans until you meet my children, because they are a permanent part of him, and it comes with him as the package. And so, like, all these things should have been, like, you know, obvious. You haven't met his children. He obviously hasn't met your family, even though PJ is your younger brother and he's in New York City now. He lives here. We have not seen a scene of you bringing Lee to meet your brother, so he hasn't met the family. He doesn't know your birthday. You probably don't know his birthday, but knowing Mary Jane's crazy ass, she probably knows a social security number by this time, or I don't think he'd have one, because he's not a U.S. citizen. He's I guess a green card holder, or on a work visa. But either way, she probably knows all his business. She probably knows his mama's birthday and, you know, the hospital that his children were born in, because she likes to investigate and be snoopy and nosy. But, I mean, that's a part of her personality. Whatever. I do the same thing sometimes. But all these things are red flags. Like, you have to have these things in place before you decide to move in with somebody. And at least he was sane enough to tell her this, and she goes out the window and like yells at him and tells him to get the fuck out of, you know, the place that she's looking at, and she's assuming that they broke up. Which is funny when he comes back at the end of the episode and is like, so what's good? How you feeling now? What's going on with you? And she's like, I thought we broke up. And he's like, no, we are an adult couple. When you have, like, the conversation we had was not like breakup kind of you know, kind of reasonings. Like, that's not a reason to break up. That was an argument, and as adults, we will talk it out, and then we will continue to be together and work through it, because that's what an adult relationship is like. And it's so crazy that he has to explain this to her when he said he's also about to turn 40, or he's 40. And it's like, so he has obviously his head on his shoulders. He understands what adult relationships are like, and she again is still acting like a 21-year-old who doesn't understand. Just because you said you don't want to move in with me, even though we just met each other, and I haven't met your kids, that we broke up. Like, oh, you're over, it's done, we had one fight, I was like, oh my gosh, I just want her to go somewhere. So that's one part of it. There was an interesting part on the sexual side, where we find out that Lee's a bit of a freak. I mean, not like out of the box freak, but he, you know, he brought Mary Jane to a sex shop, you know, like an S&M shop, and they had like different whips and stuff, and he's telling her, like, you look like you like some, you know, some sadomasochism, like you want to be a madam, you want to whip it. He gave her a whip, and she's like, nah, I'm more like, you know, she pulls out one of those anal beads, like the ones that go in degrees, like from small to large, and he's like, oh, so you into some anal beads, huh? And she's like, no, for you. She's joking. You shouldn't have joked about it, because he said, nah, I'm not about that, but, you know, a little finger, you know, like, you know, up the anus and around to the erogenous zone, you know, hitting the male G-spot would be good. So after that, we see them in the bed, and it's weird because they're kissing. I don't know, like, it didn't look like they had sex. It looked like they were just having finger play for him. And so she's in there and he's like, oh yeah, this feels good. And you know, he has his explosive moment, has the orgasm. And so Mary Jane takes out her finger and then tries to touch his face. And he's like, oh girl, you gotta wash that off. And so I just thought that was funny because I've never been in that situation. But I don't know what you really do with that. I would assume that you would just like put a condom on your finger, like just to keep it clean. Like you put the condom on, do the business, and then take it off, and then your hands are clean, so you can just continue to go on with the foreplay and the sex. But anyway, that was only a small part, but I thought it was a fun, interesting part of the show, something that I think fits in with like talking about Mary Jane being in an adult relationship and things that you find out about your partner. That is exciting. I think the leaving of Mara Kale Brock, the original writer and the creator of the show and executive producer, and bringing in a new producer and moving the show to New York has just completely fucked it over. I mean, I didn't like her in Atlanta, but I felt like it was more interesting in Atlanta, and you got to really see all the facets of Mary Jane. I mean, really, I mean, like now I feel like she's an alien. Like, does she have any friends besides Cara? I mean, Cara is a friend, but she's also her coworker. Like, she's your producer, and so you have a working relationship with her and a friendship built out of that. But does she have any friends? Like, at least when she was in Atlanta, she had friends that we saw. You know, unfortunately, Lisa was her longtime friend and she killed herself. And that was the best episode, let me tell you, that I'd ever seen. I thought I cried through the entire thing. It was so powerful. Those are the kind of things that I want to see more of. But anyway, she's gone. The other girl that she kind of had like a kiki kind of relationship with is not there. So where are Mary Jane's friends? This might explain why she's crazy and does all this stupidness, because she doesn't have any friends to run things off of. She don't got like a female group chat. Like, at least we bounce stuff off each other. Like with my friends, we talk about all kinds of stuff, and I think that's a problem. She does not have friends. If friends would have told her, bitch, like in these words, bitch, you tripping. What the fuck? You just met him. You don't know you haven't met his kids. Well, they don't like you. What if you don't like them? That's a deal breaker. You can't do that, like buy a house with the intentions of this guy coming in. It just makes things complicated. Trust me, I have plenty of friends that did that, but did the buy the house together first and then get married thing. Although they were in relationships for a long time, like at least over a year or so before they decided to make that major step with this person that they're dating. Mary Jane is crazy. She definitely needs to go to a life coach. She needs to go to a therapist to deal with her family and personal issues and to calm herself down, because she's definitely erratic. She needs to get on some low-level antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds or something. I'm not talking, I mean, I think she needs the trifecta. All of that. All of it. Actually add on exercise too, meditation, yoga. So let's say 6 things. Let's do all these things. Oh, sorry. And get some friends. Get some friends, because Cara is not enough. She's your co-worker that turned into a friendship part, but you need some freaking friends to balance out your crazy ass. At work, we see that Justin and Rhonda are preventing Mary Jane pretty much from getting any kind of serious work at the network. They're all in Garrett, the executive producer's ear, saying like, you know, maybe other people should take these different, you know, interesting pieces. Mary Jane trying to get into those positions. She's trying to get that permanent anchor serious. I talked to the president. I talked to senators. I interview dignitaries. I interview A-listers. She's trying to get that kind of job because as Rhonda told her, and that was some real talk, you're as serious as the people that you interview. And so if you're interviewing these reality stars, which she does do because she pitches it after they stuck her with having to do a new app review, so it's kind of like Snapchat with like emojis and all these like filters and stuff, and she's like, oh man, like this is not, like I'm in a career rut, and which she brought on herself, because if she was really about her shit, she would have done exactly what Cara told her to do, because Cara is enterprising. Cara keeps a motherfucking job. Okay, and we see, and I'll talk about it, how Cara is making moves for herself as a businesswoman. Boss moves. So we see that she's like, oh, well, maybe after Lee introduces her to this like reality type Real Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, baby mamas of one NBA star or NFL star all living together in one house. And Cardi B, the reality star, is playing this character called Mercedes, and she's super ratchet. She's pretty much Cardi B on like 20. She has like 5 kids with this dude. She's like known for throwing a microwave at him. And so she had Cara pitch to them that they bring her on the show to reach the young demographic, because that's what this show is trying to do, is get the younger demographic. And so Garrett likes it and decides to give it to Mary Jane and gives Justin the job of producing it, not Cara. So that's funny. So they put the 2 people together. Justin's not happy. Mary Jane's not happy. And Mary Jane tries to confront Garrett about, you know, maybe working with Justin's not good for her because he seems to be biased. Again, we have not seen any evidence that Justin is not just someone who's serious and takes his job seriously and is critical, is not afraid to be honest and critical with the people that he works with. And so Garrett asked Justin to come in and to speak to Mary Jane about what he said, why he thinks that she needs to scale back, why she needs to take a step back from interviewing people. And Justin pretty much told her, like, you're a wild card, like you have a very abrasive interviewing style. And he shows her clips. He gives her actually facts and stats, which no alternative facts here, folks. He actually showed her a clip of herself interviewing that woman last season when she pretty much called that white lady an ugly black woman, and it went viral and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like she threw the woman off like completely and had her mouth like gaping open, which is just not good for networks, because you'll get people who won't want to come on the show because they're afraid of being ambushed. And that's what he's saying about her, and she's like, well, whatever. And so for the Cardi B interview, it was supposed to be only about her swimwear line that she is coming out. And, you know, Mary Jane was trying to turn this into like a humanizing piece, showing that just because she's ratchet, she's still like this powerful black woman, you know, doing things and trying to take care of her children the best way that she can with, you know, the resources that she has in front of her. And Justin's like, no, just talk about the swimwear line. That's how we pitched it. Don't go off script. Here's the script. And of course, Mary Jane's like, okay, fine. So she goes to interviews Cardi B. Wrong person to be on daytime television, but definitely perfect if they're trying to get that young demographic. Cardi B's, you know, character, Mercedes, is being herself and saying like, you know, this is my lingerie swimsuit line, you know, for them sexy bitches who want to go and show, hey, I can take it from the pool to the bedroom. And Mary Jane's face, like you can tell, she's like super uncomfortable with this. She's trying to flow with it. And Cardi B's character calls her out. She's like, you know, you would never fit in any stuff. Like, I know someone like you, you know, you high class, you look stiff, you would never wear this stuff. And Mary Jane proves Justin right, gets pissed off, and pretty much tells the 5 million or 15 million viewers live on television, okay, you can get Mercedes swimsuit wears out of the trunk of her car at the strip club where she be working. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she walks out and everyone's like, oh fuck. And I was like, did she do that in her head? Like, you couldn't seriously have done that as someone who wants to keep a job. Like, you do that when you want to quit your job, like, fuck you, fuck this shit, and I'm out of here, peace. But you usually do that when you have something in place, because this is taking place in Trump's America right now, so she needs to be careful with her shit. So after that, Mary Jane is pissed off, and then she overhears Mercedes saying that, you know, she's you know, saying some stuff about her, and she goes in on Mercedes, saying, oh, well, you a Buick, you're not a Mercedes, and you should have swallowed your kids and all this stuff. And of course, all of Mercedes people are like, you know, like, this is their generation. This is what people do. Instead of breaking things up, we take our phones out and they're recording it. They're live chatting it. They're doing it on the app that Mary Jane was supposed to, the little Snapchat app that she was supposed to do. And so they're seeing this whole thing. Eventually, Mercedes pretty much says, like, you know, I like you. Like, you really, you know, like, you don't, like, I don't know how you deal with these white folks here. You, like, you're real. Like, you should do more of this. And after that, it seems to go viral. Cara's like really happy about this because it got Mary Jane's name out there. You know, Melissa Harris Perry, real person, wants to interview Mary Jane about this this video that kind of shows double consciousness of black professionals, and how, you know, you have to kind of code switch when you're talking to white folks and when you're talking to people who are people of color, how you have to kind of put up this veil of professionalism and a certain respectability that like white people don't have to think about, white professionals don't have to think about, because they can be themselves and still get money. And so everyone wants to do a think piece on her and talk to her, and you know, it goes for, luckily for Mary Jane, she's lucky as hell. Luckily it went well for her, and you know, it's putting her stuff out there. What happened is, after this happens, Garrett's like, oh yeah, it's good, you know, it's really good. We're actually going to move you over to our internet part of our network, which means that she now has been downgraded. Not only did she downgrade when she moved here from being someone with her own show to now being the weather person pretty much outside, the Al Roker, even though I think Al Roker has a better job than she has on this show. Now she is now on the internet. She's not even on the television, on live morning television that everybody watches. She's on that optional shit that maybe somebody might click to when they say, check out, you know, what else we got going on our website, you know, hashtag this. And so this doesn't seem like a good professional move for her, unless she knows how to finagle it and really use her resources. But we know that Mary Jane don't listen. I think Cara could figure out a good way to help her out. Cara, on the other hand, is making boss moves. She was producing this segment, or watching the production of this segment, of this Latino, I think, baseball star, who they couldn't get anything out of, and she sees potential to kind of get him to be the next Michael Strahan, to help him move from his career, his successful career, into sports broadcasting. And so she pulls him aside and tells him, hey, I can help you out here. It's good for, you know, me helping you look good helps me look good. And he agrees, and she's able to polish him up and put him on the screen, and Garrett sees like, hey, he's actually really good here. This is going to pull in his demographic of his fans, and I think this would be a good look for us. And so Cara gets a good pat on the back, and Orlando, the baseball star that she's helping out, is sexy and seems to be feeling Cara. He was watching Cara, and Cara got it going on. She got a nice body. Go ahead, girlfriend. I mean, I really wish this was being Cara, because Mary Jane is not, I feel, worth the hour show that they give her. Like, this is just so far, I don't see how she can go up from here. But anyway, I'm done with this. Let me know what you think about this episode. Do you like Mary Jane? Do you think that the show is going in the right direction? Who are you rooting for? Do you think Lee should leave Mary Jane? I hate to be making so many things against her. Do you think Mary Jane should get therapy? What do you think? Tell me what your thoughts are about this episode of Mary Jane. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. Let me know what your thoughts are on being Mary Jane. Again, don't be Mary Jane. Be somebody better. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.